Alright folks, what the shit is a 56 TP premium tier 8 Polish heavy tank competing with the 50 TP prototype? Now on paper, this vehicle is faster with better mobility and a more accurate 122 than its brethren. The downside to it is, it doesn't have that good of an armor protection for the hull front. It is only 80mm for the pike-shaped nose, so that is effectively about 130 to 150 or so. Not the greatest. Doesn't have the thickness like the IS-3 or the well-angled parts like the 𝘚𝘴-110 for that matter, so you play this vehicle like a heavy medium tank or medium heavy tank. The good thing about it is Commander Cupola is not as big as the 53 TP, the normal tier 8 Polish heavy tank, and is more in line with the medium tank design, so play it aggressively and utilize the mobility to your advantage rather than the actual armor. So not a half bad looking vehicle, the 𝘗𝘀 at the back of the turret, but I don't think the rangefinders will be acting as a weak spot, so these are practically non-existent. But you do have 9 degrees of gun depression, and the gun is accurate. It is quick to aim, but DPM sucks. DPM is about 1600, so not the greatest. It is very close to the recent K2, the IS-4 prototype. So this thing is faster with less armor, obviously, but gun performance is alright. Gold shell could have better penetration, but it's good enough for the gold shell. Accuracy and aim time is very good for a 122, so compared to the Russian counterparts. 9 degrees of gun depression, 20 elevation, 35 rounds is alright, so don't spam too much, but with that accuracy you should be able to hit most of your targets at medium range. 40 kilometers per hour top speed, 14 reverse, it's like a medium. And horsepower per ton ratio is pretty good, about 17.9, which is close to 20 with a turbocharger, so very nice. Hull traverse is fast, turret traverse is decent. Health is alright, it's a little bit below average, but that's good enough. 80mm at the hull front, 80 at the sides. With that angling or lack of angling and lack of thickness, it is likely about 150. So you're still getting nuked by BZ-176s into your hull front. And turret front is only 200mm, so depending on the armor, it might be only 200 for the cheeks, and which could get pinned. So this thing is more like a medium tank. View range is alright, 380, so about the standardish. And radio is crap. 440, that is way below standard. Standard is 700. I mean, why is it 440 for a tier 8? That is garbage. Crew of 4 fits all your Polish heavy tanks and normal shell lineup. The muzzle brake kind of looks like the 263 or 268 version number 4 muzzle brake on the Russian tank destroyers. Interesting, but it's a breakthrough heavy tank at tier 8, so it doesn't matter that much. All the field modification is practically the same, and nothing seems out of the ordinary other than the speed of this thing. So very good horsepower per ton ratio, top speed, hull traverse, and turret traverse, which is pretty good. DPM sucks, but it is accurate. It is quick to aim, so we have to see the actual dispersion, but it might be like with the Terminator T-32. So it might be pretty accurate, but just garbage DPM. View range is alright, radio is garbage. Camo is actually not half bad, but it is still a heavy tank, so medium heavy tank, heavy medium tank, wonder which. 9 degrees of gun depression, utilize that gun depression to your advantage. Hide the hull of only 80. Is it better than the 50 TP prototype? It's a medium tank, it's not exactly a heavy tank. And you're training heavy tank crews with this vehicle, so kind of a juxtapositioning of the crews to the vehicle's role, right? A little bit. Shell velocity is alright. APCR round is okay, good enough. Could be a little bit better in terms of pin, but that's okay. Workable. You still have to aim for weak spots, right? You still have to aim, unlike something of a 300mm pin on the T-34 or the 𝘚𝘲 for that matter, but it is a premium, so it makes more credit and crew XP, yada yada. Nothing really seems out of the ordinary. So you probably will want equipment such as rammer, definitely rammer. Vertical stabilizer might be overkill for this vehicle, might be. Like with the T-32, Terminator, so you could put a turbocharger to make it go even faster. Or something of the experimental turbocharger with better dispersion as well. But vents likely for the final slot to help out with the mobility in all aspects. But why is the radio so crap? That's a big no-no. So it's comparing to all Russian counterparts, and does have one of the better accuracy and aim times compared to Russians. Russians are crap in terms of accuracy or aim time, but 9 degrees of gun depression is also pretty good. The downside to it is one of the lowest DPM. Yeah, one of the lowest DPM out of all of them. It's about the same as the K2. That is scary. Scarily bad. So you have to aim your shots. It's not a frontline heavy tank, not really. How the hell do I rate this thing? Well, let's take a look at field modification before we take a look at actual rating. So rammer, obviously, definitely something of a turbocharger or vertical stabilizer to shoot on the move. That's more effective of a medium tank design than a heavy tank design. Vents for the final one. You could put optics. That's a good choice. Improve aiming or enhance gun lane drive if it's not effective enough. I mean, I don't think it's that necessary for the 1.8 seconds of aim time as well as 0.33 accuracy. So these two are redundant practically. And better rotation, also redundant. You have a very quick traverse with your turret and hull. So these three are, I think, out of the question. You could put more health, but you'll get shot at. So utilize more speed. Therefore, put grousers or turbocharger, one of which, and rammer and vents. So medium tank setup. And let's take a look at field mods for breakthrough heavy tanks. So better terrain resistance, obviously. So this one will help out with your mobility dramatically. Accuracy or aim time. I prefer accuracy, especially with 1.8 seconds of aim time. So increase that to about 2. Decrease the dispersion factor. Increase the accuracy by 0.31 or so. So you're more accurate. Definitely go with better accuracy rather than aim time. So the first one. And finally, view range or stun duration. View range. That's a no-brainer. So how the hell would I rate this thing? Think of this vehicle more like a freaking Sherman revalorizé than a actual heavy tank. It is no 50 TP. Not even close to the armor. The 50 TP has 170 for the driver port. 170 for the driver port at the front. And very well sloped 110 for the upper plate. So it is no armor match for this vehicle. It's competition. And the commander cupola is a little bit bigger, in my opinion. Yep, it's a little bit bigger than this commander cupola. So shooting at the upper plate on this thing is 280mm effective. There are weak spots, definitely, but yeah, this thing is very good in terms of upper plate sloping. And lower plate is alright, about 200mm effective. So with only 80mm and that sloping, I don't think you're heavy tank or a frontline heavy tank. You're a medium heavy tank. You're playing this vehicle like a medium tank. You're playing this thing like a like a T-34-3 with such a large caliber of a gun. That is close, right? I mean, how fast is the improved M47? Well, I have the turbocharger, so it's getting close to something like this, but this thing has space armor. Yeah, it's something like this. Little bit. Wow, this thing has not that good horsepower per ton ratio, but then again, it's a little bit faster. It weighs about 56 tons. Holy crap, for such a small vehicle. So I will probably rate this vehicle it's a medium tank. Think of it like a medium tank. Think of a gun depression and playing hull down from a medium distance away, not front lines. You're not playing this vehicle front line. You'll get jammed by 176 or BZ-176 high explosive rounds into your face. And you'll take a lot of damage. So you'll play this vehicle like a medium tank. And if you think about it like a medium tank, it's not half bad. It's like a 5.5 out of 10. If you think about this vehicle as a heavy tank, then it's more like a 5 to 4.5 or so. I mean, the DPM really sucks, but Yeah, you'll get matched up. That's the juxtapositioning of matchmaking. So you're a heavy tank, you'll get matched up with other heavy tanks. What if you get matched up with the 𝘏𝘁-176? You have to utilize your mobility, whereas your teammates are complaining, why the hell are you going around the fields and not actually taking center in a town square or something? And they complain and then complain, and you get wrecked by a high explosive shell into your face that nukes you for about 900 damage. That's a downside to the matchmaking. So if you're playing this thing well, right, it's about 5.5. DPM could use a buff, definitely. I don't think it's that good. 𝘏𝘁 doesn't pin that well. It is accurate, but we have to see the actual dispersion factor, because a lot of the Russian guns and even the Chinese and Polish guns have a big bloom with moving dispersion factor. So you have to see it. If it sucks while you're moving, you're not shooting stuff while you're moving. So technically, you're not really a heavy tank, or you're not really a medium tank. You're playing it like a heavy tank. So compare it to a 𝘏𝘁-110. Yeah, not as accurate. So we'll have to see the actual dispersion factor. But for now, it's a 5.5 for a medium and about 4.5 to 5 for a heavy. So it's okay. I mean, it is the world of premium heavy tanks. For that matter. But as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul.